You ever go down to New Jersey, Nash? Not if I can help it. That was my attempt at a French Scottish accent. Name that movie. I won't keep you in suspense for long. That movie is called Highlander, right? And Highlander should be called the first Khazarian, yeah? Because I'll tell you quickly, okay? This big bad guy from the Highlander movie that went around cutting everybody's heads off, the Kurgan, he was called. I saw on a map, on a video, I think, from Robert Zephyr a few years back, a map of Khazaria. There was an area on it called Kurgan, okay? And then in the movie Highlander, this big bad guy comes along, and the poor French guy who's trying to speak with a Scottish accent, he says, "Who is this guy?" And Sean Connery, of course, says back to him, says, the Kurgan are an ancient people from the steppes of Russia. They used to throw babies into pits with hungry dogs to fight for food. You know, how do you fight such a monster? So, the Kurgan. Anyway, where the fuck am I going with this here? I've got to stop smoking this shit. We're talking about New Jersey, okay? If you want to watch Highlander, it's a great movie. But here we are now, Barnegat's, New Jersey, okay? Now, Google Earth, here we go. This is quite a nice residential area right here, okay? Lovelady Island. Look at these houses. These houses are worth a few quid, okay? This friggin' inlet's a mile long, right? I need a stick. I haven't got one. There's one. So, this is where Tony Soprano lived, you know? And Frankie Five Fingers, or Six Fingers, whatever the fuck you call him. This is a wealthy area. These are big, long inlets. This is where huge ships came in the past, okay? Now, we have a continuation of this here. Look, what goes out goes underwater. Now, if boats are coming in from out there, I reckon this all buoyed off, probably. Dangerous. So they have to come around and they have to come in through here. Okay? Why? No, they don't want you flying over this. They don't want you diving here. They don't want you going here, right? Because this is ancient. This is old world stuff. Now take a look at this. What's this? Tartarian hieroglyphs. This is not natural. This is ancient. This is underwater. And if anybody knew about it, this would be one of the 7 wonders of the world. Okay? And this is your east coast of the US. Now let's take a little look in here. See what we can see. And this place here has been bombarded, right? You can see the potmark lakes, just like you have in northern Canada, Siberia, northern Russia, all the way across. And in it, you've got this massive canal network, which is in a swamp underwater, and you've got a language written on them. I've been looking at this for years, and here I'm coming out with it now, okay? Now, I reckon that this language is something to do with aerial navigation. Because you can only see it from the air. Some type of direction, what direction you want to go in if you're coming in over the air, okay? Now, the place has been smashed to pieces. And years ago, I've been looking at this. And there was a man way back about 8 or 10 years ago in a video, can't remember. He said this was a language called Kifi. Never heard of it. Q-U-I-P-I. Never heard of it. Don't know whether anybody else has heard of it. But like, this is old world America. Last night I watched, oh shit. I'm so butterfingers. Last night I watched an interview with Dr. Narco Longo from Old World, Florida. And he did a video with Sean Hibbler. And there is no greater authority on the history of Florida than Dr. Narco. And it was his videos last night which inspired me today to do this video, okay? Because let me now just, that's Barnegat Township on the left. Let me, if I can get this Google to work, okay? There's a fly flying around me. Give you an idea. Look at this. This is artificial coastline. John Levi pointed these things out. These are man-made. These are, go from the top of Canada down to the South America and then the other side all the way up. Now you tell me what Spaniard with his donkey and cart people, that's where we are, okay? What Spaniard with his donkey and cart people built this? Built these, they'll say, oh, that was built by the Spanish. Was it like shit built by the Spanish? Yeah? What, he came, Jorge Fernandez, Maria Costas Figuero, he built it, yeah? Colonel. No, he didn't build it. This is old world. And this is what's left of it. And again, I'm more interested in the swamps, right? They've come into the built-up areas, so they have. And whatever solid ground that they had, shit, I'm no good at this. Whatever solid ground that they had, they were able to build on. And let me get back to where I was. Hang on a second. So this is an important history lesson here, children. When you go to school tomorrow and they try to tell you anything about anybody from the past and these Spanish that came over and they're the excuse for the building of all of this stuff. And I mean, these places are huge. And there is some form of numerology or some form of messaging system, something from the old world that's down there in the swamp, under the water, far away from praying eyes. I bet you none of these people down here know about this. I bet you the people that live in these houses here don't know about the huge ships, half a mile long, that used to come in and dock in these places. Loveladies Harbour. They don't know about this. These houses are all worth, what, $1 million apiece, more? They've got yachts, they've got speedboats, they've got access to the sea, they've access by land, and right next door to them, they have a wonder of the world, which they're completely oblivious to. Because if they knew about it, you'd know about it. Yeah? So, who smashed this up? How did this happen? This did not fall off and wasn't built this way. Now, these people are living upon these ancient sites with this ancient energy in it. Yeah? Maybe that's why they all become, all join the mafia. Huh? I don't know. If I was lived there, I would hope it would have a positive effect on me, but it could have a negative effect on them. But anyway, getting back to it, how did this happen? This has some cataclysm done this. Talking earthquake, tsunami, an attack. Earthquakes do not happen naturally. Tsunamis do not happen naturally. Volcanoes, these type of things do not happen naturally. Dr. Narco Longo did some great videos down in Florida where you had divers going down in, and the earth underneath is like a Swiss cheese with tunnels going everywhere in every direction. You can see masonry on the sides of them, and it's fresh water, the best water you could ever have, but it's all pumped out to sea, so the piss water comes up through your taps. That's what you got to drink. Okay, now let's say the earth is a big Swiss cheese underneath. People with the right technology and the right equipment, frequency vibrating equipment, earthquake through the grid. This grid we see is operational, so it is. And they're using it. So if you shake the earth and it's like Swiss cheese underneath, would huge chunks of it just collapse right down in underwater? Is that what happened? Did the seawaters rise up and take it? Doesn't appear to have taken any of this. This stuff appears to have fallen down below due to Swiss cheese earth, and this stuff stayed above because it was a little bit protected. And this thing here probably went way out to sea and way out to sea. You might have been able to walk all the way out to Fort Jefferson, where you got 16 million bricks. Maybe that's how they got them there. They carried them out by road. The road ain't there now because Swiss cheese earth has collapsed in on itself. Not naturally, done by somebody. Not somebody that, you'd want your daughter to marry. But the world is full of these people. And the old world wasn't full of them. I can't see there have been war, pestilence, famine, disease throughout the old world. They would never have been able to build all these beautiful cities that they built. But some gang come in, Holy Roman Army, whoever, crossed the Atlantic, smashed this place to pieces, came in, took over, rewrote a whole new history of lies, cowboys, Indians, bank robberies. If the Native American people owned this, built this, and lived in this, then what was done to them is the same as what's being done to people now, basically. They're being kicked out of their whole way of life and forced to live in a tent out in either the street or the field or the plains. No more shoes, no more socks, no more clothes, no more comfortable living. You're in a tent now. This is happening now. Is this what happened to the Native Americans? Is this how they lost all of their heritage and ended up in tents? Yeah. But anyway, this is what I'm doing here today. This is why I thought I would bring this to you today, so that we could look at Sloop's Edge. I wonder what's buried out there. And the language of Keefe, if that's what it is. Fuck off, Pin. And a whole big world under your feet and under your the world that you walk on. I think the world was like that underneath lots of green Europe, and it's just covered in layers and layers and layers of mud. But listen, wild Indians on horseback with bows and arrows did not build this, did not create this incredible, absolutely incredible, giant, I don't know what to call it. Right now it's the largest, greatest painting in the world. And you've flown over it, you may have gone over it by boat. But anyway, there it is. Hope you enjoyed that, people. I'm going to do a few more Google Earths. There are some anomalies out there which need you all. It's going to need all of you to figure this out. okay? Because I'm just a dipshit with a mobile phone and looking through lost history. Boom, 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 boom. Florida was completely whacked out. You know those things that they call the Carolina Bays? They are loads of these little pond lakes, and they are not circular, they are oval. And if you pick Lake Erie, let's say Lake Erie's up here, and there's the United States of America. In a line like that, the ovals point. So I reckon from Lake Erie, weapons of mass destruction were fired right across the United States. As far as the East Coast, as far as Florida. They hit Florida, they've done the same to Florida. Florida is an amazing maze of canals, underwater systems. It couldn't, I mean, like it's 1,000 times what Venice is, 1,000,000 times what Venice is. Couldn't have been done by the people that they said they did it, right? But whoever did it, and whoever took over, those that took over, using weapons of mass destruction, I would say 1812 war. You got this New Madrid earthquake, right? Everybody's talking to you about the New Madrid earthquake. I don't think it was an earthquake. You can't have 10,000 earthquakes over 6 months, destroy a place, and then not have another one again for another 200 years. Weapons of mass destruction. The place was carpet bombed. Those cities that you see, like out there at Death Valley and that John Levi showed all across the whole Midwest, remains of ancient cities were carpet bombed and destroyed. There's your New Madrid earthquake, right? Blame God, yeah, for something that they done. And when this place was wonderful and beautiful, and I'm doing what Frankie does now with his hands, right? If this place was wonderful and beautiful from New West Reset channel, suddenly one day it was hell on earth and genocide and I can point out the lies to you. I can't. The truth is well hidden. It's hard to find, but the lies I can point out. Anyway, I can also point out this to you. Figure it out. Maybe some of you are so clever that by morning you'll have all this translated and put into a lovely video for me to really go to sleep tomorrow night, really content, knowing that all this has been sorted out. Yeah? Because I've got questions. You've got questions. Yeah? This world is not what we think it is. And if you're living in New Jersey, hey, Naz, that's my friend Naz in New York. He's just up the road a little bit. Naz, you're living around here, man. This has got to be looked into by someone with that critical ability. So Google it yourselves, get it out there, show it to everybody. How come International Space Station, as it flies over here, doesn't show us all of this stuff? They're too busy getting fat and playing with teddy bears and taking pictures of one another in gorilla suits to look down and see what's going on down here on the surface. So I have to go into space and do it for you, yeah? And I did it a lot cheaper than they did it. In fact, I got no budget for this whatsoever. I'm going to start writing some letters and complaining about my situation here. I'm pointing out what's going on in this world for free. There you go. So make of that what you will, lovely people. And get your asses down to New Jersey and check all this shit out. And see if you can find any I think these, I told you before in the video, these explosions were water bombs. And you know how you do that? Let's say you've got 150 liters of water, only this is much, much bigger. That's H2O. 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, right? So 100 litres of hydrogen will compress into a 12-litre container. 50 litres of oxygen will compress into a 7-litre container. That's 19 litres. If you combine them together, they will form 150 litres of water. So you have 131 litres of an ingredient in there that we're not being told about. Now, I've speculated on this. Is it ether? Is it something? I don't know what it is. But if you fire a device like that at someone and it's designed to detonate on impact, you're going to have a shitload of water and a flood at the same time. It's definitely going to drown you. But you can imagine a huge, maybe even brought in by airships. An airship dropped, maybe that, boom. The train tunnels that ran through the Grand Canyon, did they run trains down through there with massive containers with hydrogen and oxygen, combine them? Because you know what water's going to do? It's going to destroy the earth. It's going to destroy the Grand Canyon. It's going to form the Grand Canyon. These Phoenicians, who are masters of water technology, are the people that's behind this. They're the people behind the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the volcanoes, and the bombardment of these superior, intelligent people, this community that lived here. This is the Garden of Eden. You watched the video from last night from Sean Hibbler's channel with his Dr. Narco Longo video, and a lot of what I'm saying here, they'll confirm, and I'm confirming what they say. Okay, everybody, let's get to 22 minutes and 3 seconds. That's quite a long video. I think I'm going to leave it at that. This is a rabbit hole on the surface. It's swampy out there, so wear boots. Yeah. Oh, take a snake stick with you as well. And anti-crocodile spray. All the best. Oh, little bonus. Meadow Wedge Park. These guys are funky. They're funkier than the guys we saw the last time. And still, rich people in here. Huge. It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. So, take care all. Talk to you all soon in the next vid.